Alyssa Monroe was 16 years old when she vanished. She was a junior at Crestfall High, a track athlete, an honor roll student, and known for her shy smile and quiet kindness. She lived with her mom, Dana, and younger brother, Malik. Her dad had left years earlier. It was a small family, but a close one. Dana described Alyssa as the kind of girl who always double-knotted her shoes and said thank you even when she was mad. The town of Crestfall isn't big, just over 6,000 people. Churches outnumber coffee shops. Gossip spreads faster than phone service. And everyone knew Alyssa, or thought they did. She disappeared on a Thursday. It was February 9th. After track practice, Alyssa texted her mom at 4:18 p.m., headed home, taking the usual way. Love you. She never made it back. By 7 p.m., Dana Monroe was calling every one of Alyssa's friends. By 9 p.m., she was in the sheriff's office, filing a missing person report. By midnight, a town-wide search had begun. Volunteers combed through woods, parks, bus stops. Flyers went up. Hashtags flooded social media. And then came the tips. A girl matching Alyssa's description was reportedly seen walking near the Old Baptist Church on Merrow Street around 4:45 p.m. But no cameras faced that direction. No one saw where she went. The church, New Light Baptist, sat mostly empty on weekdays. Its pastor, Harold Lorne, claimed he wasn't there that day. The police knocked. Lorne let them look around. Everything appeared normal, until it didn't. Pastor Harold Lorne, 52, had led New Light for nearly a decade. His sermons were known to be long, his temper short. He had a following, but also a reputation for secrecy. When police interviewed him the first time, he seemed helpful. But then he started calling. Over the next week, Lorne contacted the Monroe family 3 times, asking if there were any updates. He claimed he was praying for Alyssa. He said the church was available for vigils. He seemed invested, but something about the timing was off. Investigators noticed Lorne was more concerned with the police's perception of his church than with the missing girl. One officer later noted in the report, offered to give us a tour, seemed nervous near the south stairwell, didn't want us opening closet behind pulpit, claimed it was water damaged and moldy. They moved on, at least for now. For months passed. Alyssa's case faded from the headlines. There were no ransom calls, no confirmed sightings. Her family refused to believe she had just run away. Then, one quiet Tuesday morning, the church janitor unlocked the storage closet behind the pulpit. He was planning to toss out old boxes, but when he shifted a stack of hymnals, something soft tumbled forward. It was a pink backpack, with a sticker on the front, "Property of Alyssa M." The janitor froze, called 911. Forensic units swarmed the church within the hour. They found what appeared to be dried blood on the shoelaces, and inside the phone, Alyssa's lock screen showed the date, February 9th. Detectives re-interviewed everyone at the church. Lorne insisted he had no idea how the backpack got there. Hundreds of people come through here. Could have been left by anyone, he said. But the lock on that closet? Only one key, and it was in his office. Then came the tip from one of the youth group volunteers. They said Pastor Lorne had been acting strange weeks before Alyssa disappeared, locking doors he never used to lock, staying late alone, installing new lighting in the basement. The officers returned with a warrant. What they found below the sanctuary shocked them. Behind a curtain in the basement storage room, there was a false wall. Behind that wall, a small, windowless room with a twin mattress, a lamp, and a Bible. No one at the church knew about it. No one except Pastor Lorne. Detectives found strands of hair, traces of blood on the mattress corner, and clothing tags from brands Alyssa was known to wear. It was enough to consider him a person of interest. Lorne lawyered up, denied everything, claimed the room was part of a homeless outreach program. But records showed no such program existed. Then, officers pulled footage from a neighboring property's outdoor camera, footage that hadn't been reviewed before. The footage showed Alyssa walking down Merrow Street at 4:42 p.m., and then pausing in front of New Light Baptist Church. Seconds later, a man appears at the church entrance, balding, medium build, wearing a tan coat. Alyssa speaks to him. He opens the door. She hesitates, then she follows him inside. The timestamp reads 4:44 p.m. She is never seen on camera again. The man? A match for Pastor Harold Lorne. When confronted, Lorne claimed it was someone else. Could have been any man with a coat. Then detectives found a journal in his office. Buried beneath stacks of old sermons was a small black notebook. In it, handwritten notes, rambling scriptures, obsessive prayers, and coded entries, dates, and symbols. One entry, dated February 9th, simply read, "She entered willingly. Lamb to the altar." Another entry, circled in red ink, listed times, 4:18 message sent, 4:44 received, 6:11 door sealed. The code wasn't hard to crack, but what it meant was investigators were now racing against time. If Alyssa had been held somewhere, was she still alive? And if not, where was she now? Then came the anonymous letter. 3 days after the journal was discovered, a typed envelope arrived at the police department. No return address, no fingerprints. Inside, a single sentence. "She's not where you think." And a photograph, a blurry image of what looked like a hand, reaching through a wooden grate. The photo shook the entire department. If Alyssa was still alive, it meant they'd missed something critical. Something right beneath their feet. The image showed a hand, thin, pale, dirt-streaked, reaching between narrow slats of wood. The background? Indistinct. But there was one clue, a scrap of torn red cloth. Alyssa had been wearing a red track hoodie the day she vanished. The photo's timestamp? Just 3 days old. Detectives returned to New Light Baptist immediately. But this time, they brought cadaver dogs, ground-penetrating radar, and a full forensic team. The basement was sealed. Pastor Lorne, still uncharged but under surveillance, watched from his office window. Then, the dogs hit. Beneath the pulpit, beneath the floorboards, officers pulled up the rotting wood. Dust choked the air, and beneath the first layer was a false crawlspace. Inside, a trapdoor. When they opened it, the stench hit first. It was barely 5 feet wide. Concrete walls, a bucket in the corner, and a mattress soaked in something dark. No body, no Alyssa, but fingerprints were everywhere. Forensics lifted partials from the walls, the door handle, the light switch. The lab matched one set to Alyssa Monroe. Another matched someone else. Someone not on file. Not yet. They also recovered a button, small, plastic, with a faded logo, Camp Orizon. That was a new twist, because Camp Orizon had burned down in 2009. Pastor Lorne had never mentioned Camp Orizon. But digging into his background, the detectives found something deeply unsettling. In 2008, Harold Lorne had been a youth counselor at that very camp. Then the fire happened. 3 cabins were destroyed, 2 boys injured. One counselor quit the next day, Harold Lorne. There were rumors back then. A missing girl who ran away just before the fire. No formal case ever opened. Her name? Ruthie Gelman, age 15. Her disappearance was buried. Her name? Forgotten. Until now. Detectives found Ruthie's mother still living in rural Tennessee. She was shocked to hear from law enforcement after 16 years. "I always believed she was taken, but no one listened." When shown a photo of Pastor Lorne, her eyes welled up. "That's him," she whispered. "That's the man who used to lead Bible study." Ruthie said he made her uncomfortable. Investigators now believed they weren't dealing with a one-time offender, but a predator, a serial one. Back at the lab, DNA results came in. The second set of fingerprints belonged to a female, unknown identity. But on the blood-stained mattress was a partial DNA match to Pastor Lorne himself. How? He claimed never to have used the room, never even seen it. But trace amounts of his skin cells were found on the bedding, under the nails embedded in the wall, and, most chilling, on the inside of the metal bucket. And then came the twist no one expected. The wood scrap from the photograph. It didn't match the church at all. Forensic wood analysts confirmed the boards in the photo were pine, but the church used oak. And the grain was different, older, weathered. The photo was not taken in the church, which meant Alyssa, or whoever that hand belonged to, was somewhere else. The letter had said, "She's not where you think." Investigators began cross-referencing every property Lorne had ever touched. His name didn't appear on any others. But then, they found it. A storage unit, registered under an alias. G. Harland, Unit 317, located 30 miles outside Crestfall. When police arrived, the lock was freshly cut. Inside, nothing but old furniture and one wooden crate. They opened it. Inside was a set of photos, dozens of them. Girls, sleeping, afraid, unaware. Some were Alyssa, some weren't, but one had a name written on the back, Ruthie. And then, under the crate's false bottom, they found another phone. One text thread stood out, sent 2 nights before the backpack was found. It read, "She's getting louder. We need to move her." It was sent to a contact labeled only R. Was Pastor Lorne working alone? Or was there someone else? Someone watching? Someone moving Alyssa from place to place? The handwriting on the envelope didn't match Lorne's. And the DNA on the photograph belonged to a woman, an accomplice, or worse, someone pulling the strings. A name surfaced, Harland, Lorne's estranged sister, last seen in Crestfall 3 years ago, working briefly as a Sunday school teacher at New Light Baptist Church. Her home? Abandoned, but the basement? Sealed with plywood. Inside were claw marks. Was Harland the one sending photos? Had she been hiding Alyssa all along? And what else was buried beneath Crestfall's holiest walls? Alyssa Monroe had been missing for 143 days. The trail had gone cold. Then a backpack appeared in a church closet. Now, officers stood in the basement of a woman who hadn't been seen in years. Plywood seal, claw marks, and a storm rolling in fast. They broke through the barrier. What they found was worse than imagined. The air was thick, sour, a small cot, dried food wrappers, scraps of paper with Bible verses scratched over and over, a bucket, bloodstains, and hair tangled in a corner nail. Then, beneath a sheet of drywall, a crawl space, and wedged into that crawl space, a backpack, Alyssa's, with a cracked cell phone tucked into the side. It was dead, but the SD card wasn't. Inside, 14 audio memos. Alyssa's distorted, whispering voice. "Alyssa VO, it's day 6. I don't know where I am. She wears gloves. I never see her face. There's a bell that rings before she comes." Another memo. "Alyssa VO, she said if I pray hard enough, I'll be worthy." I don't think she's talking to God. The recordings sent shivers through the task force. She wasn't just held. She was being brainwashed. In a locked drawer, investigators found a journal. Not Alyssa's, Harland's. Dozens of entries, most referencing scripture, but the tone turned darker as they went. Lorne said she had to be pure. I told him purity needs punishment. The lamb doesn't come clean without fire. And one entry, dated a week before Alyssa vanished. "The red one will fight. That's how you know she's ready. Red hoodie, red backpack." Alyssa had been chosen. Rain pounded the roof. One officer opened an old rusted chest freezer. What they found inside would change the case forever. Bones, small, human, wrapped in plastic with a name scratched into duct tape. Ruthie. The cold case was no longer cold. Forensics confirmed it. Ruthie Gelman had been murdered. Her remains kept hidden for 16 years. And Alyssa was being groomed to take her place. Back at the church, something still didn't sit right. Who placed the backpack in the supply closet? It was locked. Only staff had keys. Detectives re-interviewed the janitor, Louis Graff. At first, he played dumb. Then he cracked. "I didn't hurt nobody," he said. "I just put the bag there so someone would start asking questions." Graff had been bribed by Harland years ago to look the other way, to clean up messes. But after seeing Alyssa's face on the news, he had a moment of guilt. He didn't know she was still alive. New Light Baptist denied knowledge, but emails told a different story. Encrypted messages, weekly payments. Pastor Lorne had been funneling funds through church donations to cover rental units, supplies, and silence. One elder resigned. Another fled the state. Congregants were left stunned. Their pastor a predator. Their place of worship a hunting ground. 2 days later, U.S. Marshals raided a rural cabin 40 miles from Crestfall. Inside, they found her, Alyssa, alive, thin, disoriented, but alive. Harland had tried to flee, but she left a trail, gas station receipts, a burner phone ping. She was arrested without incident. Her only words? She wasn't ready yet. Pastor Lorne was taken into custody the same day. He did not speak, not even as he was read the charges. Kidnapping, false imprisonment, murder. The trial gripped the country. Alyssa testified. Her voice never shook. She told me I had to earn grace, that every scream meant I was getting closer to God. The jury took less than 4 hours. Guilty. Lorne was sentenced to life without parole. Harland received 2 life terms. Alyssa is home now. She speaks to schools, advocates for missing teens. New Light Baptist has closed its doors. A memorial for Ruthie stands in its place. Some say evil wears a mask of holiness. Others say silence is complicity. But one thing is clear. The truth, no matter how buried, finds light. If you or someone you know is in danger, contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. For more chilling true crime stories, kindly click on the subscribe button below, like and share this video link.